Hey, hi there. I guess this is a follow-on from the story question I did around Christmas time about would you guys like to see little short videos of cars that we're doing in the workshop or stuff that's we finished and is maybe about to leave us or be collected, and then we'll just do a rundown of what we've done. So this is one particular car that we've finished recently for a customer. It's a Mark II Escort rally car, used in competition only. I think it's road registered, but it's pretty much a competition car. So the customer came to us with it had an I think it was an electronic paddle shift system fitted on the car that has a Sadev sequential in it. Now this seemed to cause no end of trouble for the customer. The gearbox had been in and out multiple times for destroying gears and shift issues and misshifts and stuff like that. So he basically got to the point where he needed to change the system up. So we've well, luckily the car is already fitted with a life racing ECU, which is what our high-end sort of product we sell here at Northampton Motorsport. They are fitted on it. We do them on anything from standardish road cars, guys with their track day cars, all the way up to they're running LMP2, WRC. Some cars run life racing ECUs. It's a very high-end product. It does as little as you require them to do, and it does absolutely everything else you could possibly imagine that you could want it to do in your race car. So we do, life racing do ECU packages, they do PDUs, dashes, paddle shift kits, GPS units, you name it, they do it. So I'll do a rundown of what we've done on this car. As I said, it's got a Sadev sequential in it, and we fitted it with a pneumatic shift system. So it uses a compressor to fill a tank that then has a solenoid valve that's then controlled by the ECU to shift the gearbox up and down the gears. It's a clutchless system, up and down. So once you've used the clutch to pull away, after that it's all on the paddle, up and down, no clutch required. We fitted one paddle on this car. As many people probably know, when you're in a rally car or in a rally car when it's in competition, there's a lot of steering input going on. So most race cars you'd have a paddle for up and a paddle for down. This car we fitted one paddle, which is quite common. So you pull back to go up a gear and push away to shift down gears. So I'll show you what we've done there, and then I'll do an overview of some of the parts we fitted. So this is the interior of the Escort. We've got the conventional sequential lever, pull back to go up gears, push to go down, and a little reverse gear lockout there. And then this is what we've designed for the paddle shift system. I'll try and see if I can get a good video. I'll come down here. So this is the there's two micro switches in this unit here. So as you operate the paddle, one micro switch that way, one micro switch that way. So we designed this bracket to mount it to the column rather than the steering wheel, so it's all independent. We actually designed this in-house, 3D printed a couple of testers to see if it all mounted up correctly and it would all work and is in the right position. Once we confirmed that, we had this machined billet aluminium. Same thing with the extender for the paddle. Basically, the paddle's got to be in the right place so it's comfortable when you're operating the car at high speeds and different kind of corner situations. So as I said, it's a pull for up gear, push for down, all on one paddle rather than the two as what you class as a conventional race car. So that's kind of that system. And then if we go behind the driver's seat, so in the back here we have a compressor and then an accumulator that the air once it's compressed sits in, ready for it to be required for the solenoid valve at the front. We have a sensor on it so that the ECU knows how much pressure is in the tank. This would normally, every few shifts, would reactivate the pump so that it's always got a constant supply of the right air pressure. So then we have a line that runs all the way to the front. I'll just go back round the other side now and show you where that goes. So back round the other side of the Escort, passenger side, basically show you some more parts. So there's the air compressor in there. So the air line comes down through the tunnel to here. Then basically ends up at the solenoid valve, which is just mounted down here. Now the ECU controls the solenoid valve to divert air in whichever direction it's required. We have two braided -3 lines here that go through to the tunnel. They go through to the underside to the actuator that's mounted on the gearbox. When the car's up in the air, I'll show you where that's mounted and what that does. There's also a third airline here, this little one. I'll go under the bonnet now and actually show you what that does. So this is under the bonnet of the Escort. So that third airline from the solenoid valve that I showed you inside the car basically comes up here. We remove the Gen V throttle stop in this application and fit it with a basically a little air piston. So all that does is when you command a downshift via the paddle, it sends air from the solenoid valve to the actuator on the downshift and this little piston for a throttle blip. So as you know, if you downshift on a manual car and you're heel and towing, you give a little throttle blip to steady the car. So sort of rev matching kind of thing. So this basically does it all for you. It's all automated, as you don't have to press the throttle at all on a downshift. It does it all for you. So that's no clutch and no throttle, just straight on the paddles. So this is as I said, it's a Vauxhall XE, which is more common than you'd think on some Escort rally cars. We do see it quite frequently. This is a John Dale Race Engines XE. If anyone knows Pete, he builds some of the best rally engines money can buy. For example, this is number 432. He's been doing this a long time. Yeah, as I say, built some amazing 4-cylinders and 6s as well. He also does XEs. He's probably most famous for his BDAs, and he does some 6-cylinders for Datsun 240s, for example, which are actually probably some of the best sounding engines we have on our dyno. So this is a 2.4. It's an aluminium block and dry sump. Obviously most rally cars are dry sump, and yeah, it made just shy of 260 horsepower and 190 pound-feet. So yeah, cracking little engine. I'll take it up in the air and I'll show you the actuator on top of the gearbox, and we'll just basically go through that. So if we now take a look under the car at the gearbox, see mounted at the top there's the black unit here. That is the Geartronics Shift Actuator, and then there's two -3 airlines that come up here through the tunnel and mount to the actuator. And then there's a black, you can just about see the black rod at the back just behind the actuator. That's for the standard manual shift lever, and then obviously the actuator for the paddle shift. It's all pretty tight up there, but to be fair, it's packaged pretty well, and it does work very well. The gearbox, I've got to take it out again quickly anyway, so just to fix a slight brake fluid leak on the release bearing. So I'll take the box out and we'll have a look a little closer at the shift actuator. So with the box out of the car gives us a better opportunity to have a look at the shift actuator. This is a Geartronics part. We use this on most cars that we're putting paddle shift on. Mounting location depends on the car it's going in and the gearbox it's on, but it basically does the same thing in all applications. So you have two -3 fittings on the actuator. They're both air pressure in, which allows it to operate the piston in a forwards and back motion. So it is, I think, forward for upper gear, backwards for downer gear. It operates in the same way that the standard shifter would operate, which sometimes is mounted on top of the box, other times it's mounted in the car. This one's mounted in the car on a bracket. Then you have a rod that comes through the firewall or through the tunnel that basically mounts to the same location. So it does the same thing. So you have the ability to use the paddles, the actuator, and the standard shifter, which is located in here on this lever. So it basically does the same thing. go. It's a little video of what we did in this Escort. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. This is the first time I've done anything like this. I could probably do some more soon, maybe one in the dyno, see what we do in there. I'll probably do a wheel alignment video because a lot of people are interested in stuff like that. But yeah, thanks for watching.